The environment has to be changed.
What we're saying is have a heart.
We've got to be able to regenerate our
There'll be
economy.
people who are kind, people who are cruel, but that's life. You can be bigoted about videos. I'm fine with that.
So what measures are being planned to address this problem? Legislation? They're talking about legislation now.
There are three things you can do, okay? Just look at it on a global basis. One is you don't do anything. Okay? So the problem manifests itself are free for all. Second thing
made
is
it illegal, so it doesn't exist. Nobody in our country.
At the moment it's not illegal.
On the moment, our gambling laws don't expressly address the problem of online gambling. And so there is an element of uncertainty to what extent it is actually prohibited. The police have come out with statements saying it's illegal. There's only one exemption under the Common Gaming Houses Act, the Betting Act. There's only one exemption. Therefore, everybody else is illegal. So there's one view. There's another view is you look at the scope of your act. It says you can't run a common gaming house. A server in Gibraltar is not a common gaming house, right? So on and so forth. So there is an element of uncertainty. To date, nobody has been prosecuted for betting in a common gaming house when you bet on a casino that's operating in Gibraltar or Malta or Isle of Man.
But they are considering legislation.
Yeah.
The simple thing is that it's so difficult to enforce. If the hawker, who closes his shop and gambles at home, nobody knows. Right? He loses money.
But they can block out sites, right?
Okay. Coming back to that, you can either do nothing or you completely ban it. Okay?
Correct.
When you completely ban it, you need a lot of effort from the government, from the whole what they call the great firewall of internet or whatever. Are you able to do it? Because these technologies are so good at hiding
and evolving so fast.
So you can block a URL, but they can mask and then they'll come up with some other thing. So we think that it is next to impossible to block it.
Okay.
The last one is to regulate it. How do you regulate it? You also need to have somebody to block it. I think your clients, Suresh clients, have started a very big movement in the United States called the Action Group Against Internet Gambling, and he's funding millions of dollars. Although his clients are the biggest casino operator in
Your clients are
Sydney,
Marina Bay Sands.
And their parent company,
Venetians. His philosophy is very simple. He thinks that the online casino is creating all the ills and everything else.
Because it's taking business from him.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. But he's funding a lot of senators or whatever politicians to champion his cause. I don't think it's hitting anywhere. I mean, it's a very small thing. But what the US government has done is very interesting because for many years, a lot of senators are very pro prohibition on gaming, has been trying to put up bills to stop the whole thing and so on. But it has always met with oppositions, and I think almost 10 years ago they have decided, very cleverly a senator decided to just write one bill over what they call a Safe Port Act, and they did a piggyback, and it was passed by Congress. And that act that they piggybacked on the Safe Port Act was what they call the Unlawful Internet Enforcement Gaming Act. That act is a very cleverly designed act in the sense that they just proclaim that all internet gambling is illegal. But you know that gamblers are everywhere, difficult to catch. Operators are everywhere, difficult to catch. So what they catch the payment system.
Yes,
so they choke the online payment operators, the credit card companies, the banks.
So can we do that? Address let's say the payment operators.
The consultation paper actually is very short. It's only 1.5 pages, and in there they will say that they are looking at doing the same thing, choking the
credit card
companies and so on. But they are saying that they are open up to consideration of exceptions and so on. So I think we are looking at the Singapore pool kind of exception. Where it will lead us in the future, I'm not sure, in the sense that even if you have that kind of legislation, do you have those unlicensed operators coming to the shop, because the internet is open. You know, it's very.
It may not be 100% effective, but at least it will be largely.
Hopefully, it will be what 60% effective, and there will be 40%
Let's talk about
leakage.
the Australian experience. The Australian has prohibited online casino gaming since, I think, for 10 years now.
2001. I did the
Right.
case because that was the first casino that I listed
Lassiter.
on the stock exchange. He's now serving as the company secretary for one of the group.
Serves as their lawyer.
I was their lawyer, and that company had two gaming portions. One is the online, the other one was the land-based. So when we actually applied, that was way before all this talk about casino in Singapore. Surprisingly, you know, the Singapore Stock Exchange welcomed casino companies to list. Maybe the biggest casino is the stock exchange. So, and because I was the second company to list on the stock exchange as a gambling stock. The first one was Nagacorp, Cambodia. Cambodia was approved for listing by Singapore Stock Exchange, but we have a two-stage approval process. The second stage was an exposure to the public under the MAS scheme. MAS says, look, this is no good. They say no to the Nagacorp. They appealed, they also say no. So mine was the second one. I said, look, they say no, I suffer. I've done so much work on it, and ours was an Australian one. And we had to go and get all the gambling lawyers in front of the regulators to educate them. So they were quite happy with the regulations in Australia because it's very tough regulations. The Australian regulators actually, like what our CRA learns now, they crack the whip very hard. They will fine, they will impose sanctions for breaches. But they had a problem. They had a problem because at the time when we were supposed to go for listing, the Australian government, after they have liberalized the casino online, what they call the Interactive Gaming Act. They allowed it, and there was only one license given, and that was given to our clients. 2 years later, the government decided we want to review the act, whether we should close it down. And because of the review, the stock exchange decided that, hey, what happens if you close down? Where are you going to move your business? And you have listed the company, we have a problem. So we decided to de-link the two and just list the land-based one. And then when the review process came through from the Australian government, they said, okay, we can continue. Then we put it back in again. But the problem is that this company was, the business model was killed because of the introduction of the unlawful enforcement gaming in US. Because the pool of the gamblers, more than 70% or so come from America. And then when you cut off that pool, that's it. The business model didn't work, so it collapsed.